We used to have a one-eyed fellow in the packing department. Unfortunately, he turned out to have an uncontrollable weakness for stealing toilet rolls, and we—" The rest of the sentence was drowned in a ribald cackle of lavatory laughter, and it was some little while before the Dean could bring the meeting to order again. But Roop persisted. "Do we feel that Mr. Quinn's deafness is going to be a significant liability in the job?" "Well," replied Bartlett, "there's the telephone for a start, isn't there?" "Surely not. There are all sorts of gadgets these days." "Does Mr. Roop actually know someone who's deaf and who—" "As a matter of fact, I don't, but then I suggest he is in real danger of underestimating the sort of problems—" It was becoming increasingly obvious that there was a festering, strangely personal antipathy between the two men. Bartlett hadn't finished yet. "You all saw the report from the hospital. The fact of the matter is that Quinn is very deaf." "He seemed to be able to hear us perfectly well, didn't he?" Roop spoke the words quietly, and it became perfectly clear that he had a point. The Dean turned again to the secretary. You know, it's amazing that he did seem to hear us so well, isn't it?" Mrs. Seth, the chairman of the Science Committee, thought about her father. He had gone deaf very quickly when he was in his late 40s, and he had been dismissed from his job. He'd never worked again. Confidence irreparably shattered. They were voting. 5 hands went up almost immediately for Fielding. "And those for Quinn, please." 3 hands, including Roop's, were raised, and then a 4th. The Dean began counting from the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, another hand, 5. It looks... And then Mrs. Seth raised her hand. 6. "Well, you've made your decision, ladies and gentlemen. Quinn has been appointed." Above Bartlett's office door was a twin-coloured light, which was operated from 2 switches on the desk inside. The first switch turned on a red light, signifying that Bartlett was in session with someone and did not wish to be disturbed. A second switch turned on a green light, indicating that one was free to knock and enter. Once inside, the secretary snapped down the red switch, before opening a small cabinet and pouring himself a glass of gin and dry vermouth. Then he sat down behind his desk and sipped his drink. They'd picked the wrong fellow, of course they had. All because of Roop, the bloody idiot. Whilst the other 4 took their seats in the upstairs lounge of the Charwell Motel, Quinn walked over to the bar and ordered the drinks. "Put them all down to the Foreign Exchange Syndicate, will you? And we shall be having lunch." His North Country accent was still noticeable, though less so than it had been. When they progressed to the restaurant, Quinn seated himself at the left-hand corner of the table, with Voss immediately to his right, 2 of the others immediately opposite, and the 5th member of the party at the top of the table. Although he could see little of Voss's lips as he was speaking, he was just about near enough to catch his words, and the others he could see clearly. Lip-reading had its limitations, of course. It was absolutely useless when the speaker turned his back. But in normal circumstances it was quite wonderful what one could do. There are 5 graduates on the permanent staff of the syndicate. The names of the 5 graduates are printed in bold blue letters at the top of the syndicate's official notepaper. Margaret Freeman reaches for her ruler and neatly crosses through the name G. Bland on the headed notepaper, and types in that of N. Quinn, M.A., a new boss. By 1:45, Quinn had finished work on drafts of 4 history question papers. He locked the papers away. Bartlett was a martinet on all aspects of security, and allowed himself to wonder whether Monica would be going for a drink and a sandwich at the Horse and Trumpet, a pub he had originally misheard as the Horse and Strumpet. Monica Hight's office was immediately opposite his own, and he knocked lightly and opened the door. She was gone. In the lounge bar of the Horse and Trumpet, a tall, lank-haired man pushed his way gingerly past the crowded tables. He took his seat beside an attractive woman in her mid-30s, who sat smoking a cigarette. "Cheers." He lifted his glass and buried his nose in the froth. "Cheers." She sipped the gin. "You been thinking about me?" he asked. "It's got to finish, you know that, don't you? You said you enjoyed it yesterday." His voice was very low. "That's not the point, is it?" Her voice betrayed exasperation. "You've got a wife. Couldn't we just... Look, Donald the